Last time I showed you our actual household budget here in Japan. Low base, a third of it going to travel and learning. The math works. Here's the part I didn't tell you. I'm close to the number, the one I spent years building toward, and I haven't quit. Not because I'm scared of the math. The math is fine. Something else is holding the door shut, and it took me a long time to be honest about what. For years I believed one sentence: I can't quit because I don't have enough. It's a comfortable belief. It gives you something to do. You save, you invest, you watch the number climb, and you assume that one day the number crosses a line and the feeling changes. The number climbed, the feeling didn't change. And when I finally looked at it properly, I found something I did not expect. As the assets grew, something else grew right alongside them. The fear of my income going down. That sounds backwards, so let me say it plainly. The more I had saved, the harder it became to walk away from my salary. Here's why I think a balance and an income are two different kinds of safety, and they don't substitute for each other. A balance tells you what you survived, an income tells you what's arriving next month. You can stack the first one as high as you like. It does not switch off the part of your brain that's listening for the second one. And when I looked closer, that fear wasn't one thing, it was three stacked. The first is obvious: the income stops. The second one is quieter. Even if I replace the income, I probably replace it at a lower level, at least at first. Going backwards feels different from never having been there. The third one I almost missed. Right now my savings grow every month without me doing anything because money keeps arriving. The moment that stops, the pile stops climbing at the speed I've gotten used to, and I've gotten very used to it. None of those three are solved by a bigger balance. That's why the number kept moving and the feeling never did. The number goes up and the grip gets tighter. That's the twist nobody puts in the fire videos. It isn't that I don't have enough. It's that having enough didn't do what I was promised it would do. Once I stopped blaming the math, I could actually look at what was there, and underneath the money I found three things. 1. My title, who I am inside the container of a company. 2. Connection, whether I have anywhere to belong outside of it. 3. The return ticket, the feeling that I could always go back. The fear about income is wrapped around all three of them. It never stands alone. It holds hands with these, and that's what makes it so hard to argue with. I'm going to open all three because I don't think I'm the only person carrying them. Start with the title. Inside a company, I get to be someone without explaining myself. I say where I work and what I do, and people understand. The whole introduction takes 4 seconds. Give that up, and I'm not sure what I am. I want to be careful here because this one is louder in Japan than a lot of people outside Japan realize. Here, what you do and where you do it is a large part of how you're placed in a room. It shows up on the card you hand someone in the first 30 seconds. The company isn't just where you earn. For a lot of people, it's the answer to who are you. When you imagine leaving, you're not only imagining a smaller income, you're imagining not having an answer, but there's an order problem in that fear, and once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. The title didn't come first and then me. I came first and the title got attached afterward. Which means the job isn't to bravely throw it away. The job is to build a second one that's in my own name. That's most of the reason I'm not aiming at full retirement. If I stopped completely, I think I'd lose track of what I'm for. I'm not choosing between having a title and having none. I'm making another one slowly on the side that nobody can take back. Second one, connection. I think the real weight of leaving a job isn't the income, it's that everything social goes at once. The people you see daily, the moments where somebody needs you, being thanked. I should be honest about this. I like helping someone and watching their face change. That's not a small thing for me. It might be the main thing. Work has that in it, reliably, several times a week without me having to arrange anything. And full retirement closes that door completely, not the income door, the being useful door. I think that would hit me harder than the money stopping. This is where the spreadsheet lets you down. You can model the withdrawal rate. There is no cell for how often a stranger says thank you. I don't want to switch it off. I want to stop letting one place be the only source of it. If your entire sense of belonging lives inside a company, then quitting means losing all of it in one afternoon. That's terrifying, and it should be. But if there's even one other place, then quitting stops being a loss. It becomes a move. That's the actual work, not saving harder, building a second place where being useful still happens. Third one, and this is the one I hid from myself the longest. I don't stay because I'm trapped. I stay because staying keeps a door open. As long as I don't leave, I never have to find out whether I could survive out there. The option stays alive. The insurance stays in my pocket. And there's a cost to holding that insurance that I wasn't counting. While I'm depending on being able to go back, I'm not the one deciding. Somebody else's circumstances are. The door I'm keeping open isn't mine. It belongs to whoever owns the building, so I tried turning it around. What if the real insurance isn't a place I can return to? What if it's a source of income I built with my own hands? One of those is a permission slip, the other is a skill. They feel similar when everything is calm. They're not remotely the same thing when it isn't. That reframe changed what I do with hard weeks. I used to treat difficulty as a signal to retreat toward the safe option. Now I treat getting through it as the thing I'm actually accumulating. Comfort doesn't build the insurance, only the crossing does. Once I understood that, the grip on the return ticket loosened, not completely, but enough to keep moving. There's one more reason I'm still here, and it's the only one on this list I'm not embarrassed by. There are things you can only collect while you're still an employee, and most people who talk about walking away have never made the list. Start with credit. A salary is not just money, it's proof. A mortgage, a rental application, a credit card, a loan of any kind, almost all of it is being decided by one fact, which is that a predictable amount lands in your account every month. Become self-employed and that proof disappears overnight. You can be earning more and still get turned down because now you're being asked for years of tax filings instead. If there's a large contract or a loan anywhere in your future, doing it while you're inside is dramatically easier. I don't have plans to buy a house. I still keep this one in front of me because employee credit doesn't come back quickly once you've handed it in. Then there's the safety net underneath. In Japan, an employee who can't work because of illness or injury can receive a portion of their pay for a limited period through the health insurance system. There's separate coverage if the cause was the job itself. I'm deliberately not quoting you exact figures because the conditions vary and these rules change. Look up the current version for your own situation. The point isn't the number. The point is that when you go independent, that entire layer becomes something you have to build and fund yourself. There's also the retirement side. My workplace has a contribution scheme I'm using right now, and it only exists because I'm inside, so I flipped the order. Leaving isn't the first move. Taking everything that only exists on this side is the first move. Then leaving, know what you're holding before you hand it back. There's one more thing I'm doing while I stay. Almost everything I've described so far has been the cutting side. Lower the base, delete the defaults, it works. The budget I showed you last time is the proof, but the cutting side has a floor. Spending doesn't go below zero. However well you do it, there is a ceiling on how much freedom you can build by subtracting. And the closer you get to that ceiling, the more painful each yen becomes. The earning side has no ceiling at all. Once I saw that, I stopped spending hours reviewing my fixed costs again and moved those hours into income I could build outside the company. Cutting pays best on the first pass. It fades after that. Building is the opposite. It pays worst at the start, which is exactly when most people quit. I'm still in that part. That's the other reason I haven't left. Here's where I landed. I don't want to quit my job. I genuinely don't. What I want is to be the person who decides whether I quit. Those sound almost the same and they are completely different. One is an exit. The other is authority over the exit, which you can hold for years without ever using it. That's why I'm not chasing full retirement. I want to keep working. I just want the steering wheel on my side of the car. And this is the part I'd push back on in the whole FIRE conversation. We spend enormous effort calculating the number and almost none describing the life on the other side of it. If you can't picture what you do on a Tuesday morning after you're free, the number won't rescue you. You'll hit it and feel nothing, and then you'll quietly raise it because raising it is easier than admitting you never worked out what it was for. I've done that. That's not a hypothetical. So if you're building toward a number right now, try one thing this week. Write down what your Tuesday looks like after you get there, not the balance, the morning. If you can't fill the page, the thing to work on isn't your savings rate. This channel is built on real numbers from actually living in Japan, costs, math, and the thinking behind them. This is educational content. It is not financial advice. Tell me, what does your Tuesday look like?